I disappeared for 3 months and ended up getting 21 million views, made over $10,000 from my own products, and I coached 3 creators to do the same. This is despite me being super busy, moving to an entirely new country, doing apartment hunting, and my random side quests, like I learned aerial yoga. Oh, and I sewed my own meditation cushion. Let me show you. This is the meditation cushion that took me 2 weeks to make. It actually wasn't that difficult, but sewing the circular shape and these folds were so hard, but I'm so proud of it. It's so comfy. Anyway, that was one. Oh, and I had a little zipper. Isn't that so cool? This is my first time sewing a zipper in. Anyway, I'm very proud of this side quest. So today I'm sharing all my learnings so you can do the same. Everything is going to be ADHD friendly and as simple as possible. So when I first started my content creation journey, I thought I needed to do a lot of research. This is what people tell you. I ended up making these huge spreadsheets where I dug into my competitors' content in my niche and how many views they had, how many followers, and the engagement. And I'm not gonna lie, even though I love spreadsheets, I was kind of drowning here because this was not very ADHD friendly. A lot of people who recommend doing this research, I feel like it just doesn't work for my brain. And so when I first started my content creation journey, I did this research and I got stuck here. I never continued on. The only thing that really helped me grow to over 100K followers across all platforms now is I ended up working with my brain instead of against it. So I hosted a co-working session with my friend, which was super fun. We went to a cute little cafe and I scheduled all my posts and one of them ended up going viral. But after virality, what happens? I ended up making the exact same mistake, thinking that I needed to do this spreadsheet research because that's what everybody was saying. You need to look at competitors' content. You need to analyze what works, repeat their hooks that are getting 5 times the amount of views that they have followers, and all this complicated stuff. But I was looking at the spreadsheet and my soul was dying, okay? I could not continue after this because it just drained all my energy. But you want to preserve your energy for actually creating content, which is what's going to help your business. So I put everything on hold on my own accounts in October and I ended up coaching over 200 creators. And that's who I ended up helping get 21 million views. These are completely beginner creators and their videos went viral because we did this one simple thing. But before I get to that, the reason why I came to this realization was because we were trying all these different things like the spreadsheets. We were copying the hooks that were supposed to work because they've got millions of views, but they were not getting us views and we didn't know why. Now, after the chaos of that month, I believe there are 2 simple ways to approach getting over 20 million views. The first one is if you intend to optimize for views, and the second one is if you intend to optimize for resonance or your energy. So if you want to just optimize for views and get as many views as possible in a short amount of time, you first want to search a broad niche. So for example, if you are in the mom space, you would search some mom videos instead of very specific parenting things. If you are in the fertility space, you would search fertility instead of like IUI, I think it's called, or IVF. Like these little things that don't get a lot of search volume. So you want to focus on the broadest niche possible. For me, that's either productivity or business or ADHD. And where you want to do the search is in Facebook ads library, where you can actually select and stalk people's ads. So let's say I'm in productivity. What's a productivity brand? Oh my God, why don't I know any? Okay, Motion. Motion, please sponsor me if you're watching this. Anyway, you can literally search them up here and you can click on the company and this lets you stalk all their ads and all the videos that are doing well. And you can just kind of copy that. Usually this is for UGC creators who are making video ads for companies, but if the company has ran this ad for a long time, chances are it's doing very well because why else would they be spending ad money on this all the time? So you can try and take inspiration from a video like that. Another thing that you could try is the TikTok Creative Center. It shows you all the most popular videos that are very recent, but to be honest, sometimes I kind of get lost in the sauce doing all of this ad research. So the easiest thing possible might be for you to go to the TikTok Explore page and just note down which has millions of likes here and try and adapt that to your own niche, especially the hook. And then you can even pick the little niches here like fitness and health, education, etc. So this is actually exactly what we did to scale one of our creators' posts to millions and millions of views. So this creator he was struggling with a mold-related illness. Basically, we were doing this research, just literally going on TikTok, searching the keyword, very broad, and there was a video by this woman and it said, "What do you mean your apartment almost killed you?" or something similar like that. Like, I was just telling this creator, you can just adapt this to your own niche and your own life. Like, obviously don't lie, but like, he has struggled with mold from his basement and it led to all sorts of things, and he lives in a tent now. It's a whole story. Oh, I found it! Oh my gosh. What do you mean your room slowly killed you? Okay, I told him to take that hook and replace it with his own clips. And now you can see here is his profile. As soon as he posted using that hook, but then adapting it to his life, it got over 100K views, and that was a signal. So then he kept repeating that hook. Here you have a video that's 600K views where he did something similar with the hook and he just changed the clip a little bit. And he kept spamming it to iterate and test, because usually on TikTok, nobody really cares and you don't really see the posts of people that you follow anyway. Everything's on the For You page. So we were just using that to really test. And then he cross-posted it to Instagram, and now you can see he's got 4.9 million views on a video, 1.5 million views, and 1.4 million views. And these are all variations. Like, wait, how can a basement kill you? What do you mean that tiny thing slowly killed you? These are all different variations that he's tested with the text hook and the visual hook that we found worked well. And it's not just the visual hook, the clip after the first clip also matters. We noticed that clips where it's showing like him diving into the water, and then the next clip being him kind of on a street. It did better than like the modeling clips of him walking down a runway. So very interesting to experiment with. And that's if you focus solely on views. And I had a bunch of beginner creators ask me like, is it really okay to keep spam posting these? And I literally have like more advanced creators who've grown thousands and thousands of followers say on podcasts as advice to really spam a format once it works, because people will never get enough of it. Like, think of your favorite TV shows. If they suddenly change the entire format of the TV show, they change the genre and everything, you would not really want to watch that TV show anymore, right? So you really just want to spam what people have already been showing that they like, and that's how you optimize for views. This is another lazy hack that you can use to get your views up. It's called hook testing. I have another video about this, but basically this is just posting the exact same video, but the only difference is the hook on the screen. Here's an example. I posted 2 of the exact same video. Like, I cannot stress enough how similar, like, it's literally the same video from beginning to end. The only difference was this text on screen where it says learn data analysis in 6 weeks as a beginner, and POV, you're bad at math. So like, that one was longer. Guess which video did better? Which one got more views? My guess, and most people that I've asked would guess POV, you're bad at math, because it's relatable. The text is longer, which means you stay on the video longer to read what it is. Now, I posted these videos at the exact same time with the exact same caption, and the rest of the video is the same. It's just the text that's different. And learn data analysis in 6 weeks as a beginner got almost 14 times the amount of views as the other one. And that's the importance of testing. So now if you look at my profile on TikTok, you can see like I'm just posting the same video. The only difference is the text on screen. And I do this a lot. For example, I did this with a sponsored collaboration. I tested it on TikTok. I took the video with the most views, posted it on my bigger platform on Instagram, and that ended up doing way more views than average. So usually I get like 8K views or so. I don't know why, but all my views are down on Instagram, and that video got 42.8K views, which is like, oh my gosh, the sponsor was so happy. Getting views is great, but what if you want to optimize more for resonance and energy, which is usually what I recommend for ADHD creators who are trying to build their personal brand and their businesses. So you can see here, my most viral videos are from when I'm genuinely excited about things. Like, I have a weird thought and I get super excited. I just turn on the camera and I film. You can see these videos on TikTok have all gotten over 100K views, and it's just stuff that I got excited about, posted, went to sleep, and I woke up and my phone was blowing up. This rarely happens though. It only happens sometimes. So recently I've actually been feeling a little bit discouraged. So I reached out to some creators who blew up recently to try and learn from them. And what they said low-key made me have an identity crisis. So these are the creators that I reached out to. Andrew, who's a UGC coach, Jess, who is a Pilates princess. I love her. She's so cool. We actually ended up hopping on a one-on-one call. And Annika, who's also pretty cool. I love her energy. I was so surprised that they all responded to me and we all hopped on a call. I have a whole article about all my learnings from these calls, but I think when you optimize for resonance and energy, that is how ADHD creators are able to be sustainable. Because I was looking at these spreadsheets that I thought I had to have. I was looking at my content calendar and I was like, I have to force myself to make content. This is so hard. It was the same thing for my ADHD friend who does running content, and he's like, oh my gosh, it's so hard to make content. I'm a failure. I suck. I'm just lazy. I need to be more disciplined. But when you really lean into what gives you energy, what really resonates with you, a lot of people will relate to that and feel that energy and watch you regardless of what you're talking about. I feel like as ADHD creators, we know we have Riz. So when you just feel the good energy and you create content from that place, it becomes so much easier and way more fun. And it tends to go viral. So that's exactly what these creators told me when I asked them for help. So I hopped on a call with them and one of them said, if the post flops, because recently my Instagram posts have not been doing well, it's been getting low views, it's very discouraging, I don't want to post anymore. But basically she's telling me, hey, if my post flops, at least I still had fun making it. And I was like, wait, that's so true. If I feel like I'm putting in so much effort and energy to make a post just for it to flop, obviously I'm going to be discouraged and not want to post anymore. But if I had so much fun making a post because it's coming from a place of really good energy, it really resonates with me, then I won't even care about the numbers as much. It's not a reflection of my self-worth. And she also mentioned something that made me feel a little bit better because she said that content creation is very saturated now. There's so many people making new accounts and posting content because it's very easy to get into nowadays. But not a lot of those people are going to continue to stay consistent, especially after the 6-month or the 12-month mark. So if you're able to just stay consistent and push past that 6 to 12-month mark, you will already have stood out among millions of creators out there. And to really drive this point home, think of your favorite creators. Why do you watch their content and why do you want to support them or buy from them? It can't just be that they're entertaining or interesting or you get value from their content, right? It must also be that you like their energy and their personality because you really enjoy spending time watching their content and listening to them. So that running content creator friend that I was talking about, he was spending so much time trying to be somebody he's not because he thought that to be a proper content creator, he had to put on this persona and kind of like fake doing what he thought content creators were supposed to do. As soon as I told him, just be yourself, have that natural energy that you have already, something changed inside him. And right after that, he made a post that got 5 million views. And this is so him. He's just like making a meme. And the next thing you know, it's like he's running 100 kilometers around the track. What the heck? Not a lot of people can do that. And he's like, oh, this is whatever, anyone can do that. I'm like, no, this is like uniquely you energy. So a lot of the time I feel like we have imposter syndrome because we think that, oh, anyone can do this. This is easy for me, so it must be easy for everyone. But that's not true. You have a unique energy that you can harness and put in your content. And that oftentimes is what will make you feel even more energized to keep going and stay consistent. If you struggle with knowing what that unique energy is from you, maybe you can ask a few friends or just focus on creating all these different types of content and seeing what you like doing the most. Because when I started, my username is Vegan Tech Nomad. So it was supposed to be about vegan food and travel. But what really resonated with me, what I like to create the most is just random yaps about me and then my computer screen. And that's so easy to make, way easier than travel content because I thought I would like travel content because I could travel the world for free and get sponsored. That was not the case. I actually had a travel company sponsor me. It was not a fun time. I felt so pressured. The key thing is to experiment and go for it instead of like worrying about 10 steps ahead. Instead of thinking like, oh my gosh, if I commit to a niche right now, I have to like always make content about this. Like, no, just take it one step at a time. But what happens after you go viral? Because it's not a question of if you will go viral, I know you will go viral. So what happens after that point? I've seen it happen over and over. People go viral and then kind of get lost a little bit because there's the high of getting millions and millions of views, especially if you follow all the stuff that I outlined in this video. And after that, it's like the numbers are going to go down. Like you can't constantly hit millions of views forever. So if you don't know how to monetize or don't know how to turn your content into a business that pays you every single month, your life is just going to go back to normal and you'll always be left wondering what could have been. 2 years after I went viral, I now have a 6-figure business. These are my financial statements, okay? Like over the last few years after I went viral, you can see revenue 6 figures. It's like low 6 figures, but it's okay. I will take a win when I see a win. No need to put myself down. So 6 figures in 2024 and 2025, my 2 years in business. But that's only because I knew how to monetize properly. I've made so many different mistakes, but at least I knew to collect emails and I knew how a business works. Like, if there's one takeaway you have from this video, please just put like a random Google form or Tally form or whatever into your LinkedIn bio and put like templates coming soon, or whatever lead magnets, or like more updates coming soon, and just start collecting emails through that. It can be super easy, takes 2 seconds, but you will be so glad that you started an email list, because right now my posts are not showing up to my followers. People who actually care about my content, they're not even seeing my videos, but they will always see my emails. So that's the importance of keeping an email list. Please do it. Do it right now. Like, pause this video and go and start your email list. It can just be like a Google form and you collect people's emails and you can send them emails from Gmail or whatever later on. That's like a later problem. Because remember, one step at a time. Now, I know that was a lot, so if you found this valuable, I will be uploading more videos in the next few weeks about how I made $10,000 from my own products and how I coached other creators to do the same. But if you don't want to wait for the videos to be released, you can book a call with me. The link is in the description below. And basically, if you are an aspiring content creator, or if you just want to learn how to monetize better, I will hop on a call and get you a step-by-step roadmap. No sales. I will just give you this roadmap for free based on your problems and your goals. And if you need help implementing and taking action, you can hire me as a coach. But you can also just take the roadmap and take action on the plan yourself. Hopefully, I will see you on a call soon. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.